So, hi everyone. It's good to see you again. So, go right into my conversation or my thoughts to you today is the relevance of products knowledge with regards to product decision making. It's a high commonality I have observed through the timeline I've been doing this business, even before it became business for me, to generally see that when people want to buy skincare products, like a large population of people who use skincare, because skincare is just part of what we use as our daily life. Lots of people do not have knowledge with regards to the basics that you ought to know, when you want to purchase a skincare product, why you should purchase a particular kind of skincare product, why every kind of skincare product is not for everybody. So lots of people don't have that knowledge. And so you find the commonality where one just walked into a mall or into a specific skincare shop or just about anywhere where skincare is. So, and they just go there and they pick something and maybe look at the brand name or look at the what it is called or maybe ingredients that they understand what it is and they just buy the product and they are gone. And in many cases, when people come for consultation, you find that they are dealing with all kinds of skin problems that they have inherited as an outcome, to exposing themselves to products that they didn't know anything about, when choosing. So let me put it this way. Every product is not for everybody. There are products that may not be bad, but it's not for your skin type. And there are products that are used a certain way. All products are not just opened and just put on the skin. Certain products need a base, certain products need to be put in another product, to contain its acidity or its ability to sensitize the skin. Now, some of the basics you need to know about products is that any properly formulated skin product, I'm not referencing maybe poorly done products and all that. Look, any standardized product that was done following regulations and all that, and it's well put together, those products come made in different ways, right? So some of the things you need to put into consideration is that you can see a lotion, it's a vitamin C, primarily targeted, like the primary ingredient in that product may be a high or uh, a very recognizable concentration of vitamin C, which in terms of what it is supposed to be doing is to target tyrosine and cut down the activity of melanin, right, so that your skin can be a little bit prepped. I'm not talking of skin, we're not talking of skin bleaching or skin whitening. We're talking of skin brightening. Skin brightening, skin lightening are not the same thing. Now, so you will find that some products that a lotion is vitamin C, right? And when I mean lotion now, I'm talking about product neck down. That is vitamin C. It doesn't mean that everybody can use that lotion, even if everybody can use it. Like even if the vitamin C is not dependent on concentration, most vitamin C body lotions can be used by more people than not, except for people who deal with, citric acids, sensitivity. There are people who dependent on other products that are, other ingredients that are in that particular lotion, may be reactive or sensitive or allergic to the product. But let's just say a mildly done, body lotion, no dramatic sensitizers. It's just a product just about anybody can use. So let's say a product made for all skin types in terms of ingredient concentration, right? There are other things you need to know. A product has a texture. So some products may come water-based, some products may come lipid-based, some products may come that heavier. How do what's the right word now? Um, um, It's not coming to me at the moment, but you can find other products that are dense, right? They are dense because they have heavier lipid concentrations or heavier lipids present in them, right? Now, so for what we call a cream, or what we call a liquid, or what we call a lotion, and then of course no water present at all, oil, right? So the relevance of these different textures is in response to different skin types. Now, there are different skin types. Some people's skin, you have normal to combination skin. You have people who deal with oily skin. You have people who deal with dry skin, and in some cases even more dry. Yeah. So drier skin. Now, the texture of the product is relevant to the skin type, right? So a liquid-based product is okay for people who have normal skin, normal to combination skin, and all that. When somebody has oily skin, they can use liquid products, but that have more like water-based products, like the hydration content, the hydration content or the water content is higher than when you have like a liquid flowing product. So, for example, I have normal to combination skin, but on my palms I suffer minor, there's very minor dryness sometimes. So if I'm not wearing a lotion, right, a moisturizing lotion, sometimes my hand could show in between some signs of whiteness, which in itself is an expression of minor dryness, right? If I wear a lotion, I mostly would prefer to wear lotions that are liquid-based, that have some percentage of lipid in it, because immediately I think that it keeps my hand hydrated. It restores, moisture, and then I can lock it in with shea butter, right? So you lock in the moisture. Now, if you use a water-based product, what that does is that the water loss, the timeline for water loss is high. It is the water, your skin needs that water because the product does not have enough lipid to lock in the moisture. What happens is that your skin, just turns dry. So people that deal with very dry skin or dry to very dry skin, would better off use products that are occlutants, right? And that also have humectants in them. What that means is that that product, whatever the primary, what is it called, presentation of the product is, introduced or existing in that product mostly humectants like glycerin, like some dimensions of aloe vera, other kinds of hydrators, right, that helps to infuse moisture. Then it should have occlusives like shea butter, things that can lock in, that can lock in moisture in the skin. Years ago, so for example, years ago I used to use Clarins. Now I leave myself as a guinea pig, right? Because Clarins has all kinds of body lotions. This is just an example, and I didn't know which one I was supposed to use. So I could look at the description and say, it says glowing, blah, 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 lotion. And I buy it. It has nothing with regards to how to help me secure moisture. And I'll just buy the product. I'll be feeling dry. I'll be feeling uncomfortable. I don't deal with extreme dryness, but that feeling of discomfort, I think there is no moisture on your hands, was something I dealt with until I started reading, researching, looking for knowledge and all that. And I realized that, I needed a Clarins version, the version that has shea butter in it. And so and it has other humectants, it has glycerin, it has other things in it that encourages hydration, and that was it for me. It became like, that was my signature product from Clarins with regards to neck down body lotion, right? Now, so the knowledge of what it is we're supposed to be using why you should be using it is relevant to making your skincare decisions. You may not have all that knowledge, and that's why you need consultation. Secondly, the other things you need to think about. So, for example, there are general skin requirements. The general skin requirements, especially when you don't want your skin regimen to be complex. So some of the basics are a cleanser, which means another word for cleanser is soap, right? It could be a liquid soap, it could be a foamy soap, it could be a bath soap. It depends on also what it is your skin type is and what you're dealing with, and that's why guidance or professional guidance is relevant, right? Now, so cleansing, toning. Now, toners are those transparent liquids, for those who don't know them. Transparent liquids that you use your cotton pads, to use to dab the skin to take out extra dirt. At the same time, that's not the only job it does. It's also to infuse some dimension of hydration. It's also to infuse other ingredients into your skin, because after you've taken out the leftover of the tinta, toners are supposed to have some ingredients infused into them, which by dabbing on your skin, can be absorbed through your epidermis, into the second layer, epidermis of your skin, and basically to bring you certain kinds of intervention. Now, there are also various kinds of toners, right? So toners, when making choices for toners, they also need guidance, because toners are made in all kinds of ways. Some toners are made water-based, some toners are made oil-based, some toners are made with certain kinds of ingredients. Some toners are targeted for acne, some toners are targeted for normal to sensitive skin, some toners are targeted for oily skin, some for dry skin. So, but basically, you clean, you tone, then the next thing, you moisturize. As I just finished explaining, moisturizing also requires guidance so that you choose the relevant moisturizer for you. And then daytime protection, right? So daytime protection, you need an SPF. Whether you're indoors, you're outdoors, you need an SPF. Why do you need an SPF when you're indoor? So the way UV rays work, right? There are UVA rays, there are UVB rays. Now, UVA rays, these are ultraviolet rays that encourage aging, and there are UVB rays, these are ultraviolet rays that are that encourage burning. So UVB rays are the rays that you suffer mostly when you find yourself outside in the peak of the day, or between 12 and 4 p.m. each, when the sun is hottest in subtropical Africa. Right, and if you're not wearing an SPF, which is a sunscreen, what that does is that it exposes your skin to potential burning, because your skin needs protection. It needs like a protective sealant over whatever the treatments you use. Note that a lot of skincare products have sensitizers, mild or a little bit more severe sensitizers. Reason being that they have prepper, they have exfoliant, they have purifier, they have all kinds of stuff that basically work on the skin to help the skin to be able to absorb products better and take out the dead skin, refine the nature of skin, right? So in doing that, which it is supposed to do to help the skin to regenerate itself, repair itself, prep itself, encourage new skin to come forward, it also does the so by implication, we can stylish the skin, right? So you need to protect the skin. Now, if you don't protect the skin, most of the time what happens is that the skin will experience a scald, a sun scald, like what we call sunburn. And then it takes time to heal. You need to now start doing treatments and all that, lots of stuff to go through a period of skin recovery. All right. Now there is the UVA ray with the ultraviolet ray that can do 400 mg movement. So there are rays that still go beyond your window and can still touch your skin, because the wavelengths are long, right? There are 200 wavelengths, there are 400 wavelengths, and all that. So the UVA rays have longer rays, and so because they have longer rays, they can still affect you whilst you're indoors. You may not feel any burning sensation, but it also encourages aging. So using a sunscreen is non-negotiable, right? I think in the past, maybe years before now, I've done one or two proper videos that are fully focused on sunscreens and why you should use sun protection and why sun protection is non-negotiable. It's not for some, it's for all. You could check out those videos. If I review them and deem it necessary to do an updated version on the value of sunscreen, the kind of sunscreens you should use, why everybody needs a sunscreen, both indoors and outdoors, I'll do another video, but this is just to put it out there that these are the basics you need. And SPF between SPF 30, SPF 15, actually 15 to 30, 50 max is more than adequate, to give you maximum protection. Anything above that, not going to give you anything more than 1% extra protection. And SPF 60 and SPF 90, SPF whatever else will not give you anything beyond maybe just a 1% extra protection. In some cases, zilch. It will do nothing. It will do nothing more than an SPF 30 to 50 will do for you, right? So you don't have to buy an SPF 60, 70, 80, whatever dimensions or ratings they're given. And if they are more expensive or more classified or whatever, because you think you're going to get more protection, you're not going to get anything. If you see a very well curated SPF in 30, in 45, in 50, it's more than perfect for you. You don't need anything more, right? The rest of it is marketing drama. So one more thing I think I want to talk to you about before I will call it a day for today. Secondary requirements, right? So primary requirements are cleansing, toning, moisturizing, protecting for daytime, right? Now, for nighttime, not for nighttime, sorry, please, for other dimensions of needs. So when I would want to do conversations around what we call skin, whitening, and all that, I would still hopefully talk about this. But for now, exfoliation. Exfoliation is a critical part of skincare. What's the job of exfoliation? Exfoliation helps you to prep the skin. Now, for skin to regenerate itself, right? For you to experience cell regeneration as you grow older, some of the internal hormones and all the stuff that is supposed to just make some of these things happen without extra support and begin to deplete and need external intervention, right? Immediately you cross out from your 20s and you enter your 30s. There are extra routines you need to be doing here and there. So, e.g., exfoliation is one of them. For you to have a skin that glows, right? For your skin to be prepped, for your skin to, be able to give that luster that you're looking at for. And when you wear skin products, you notice that there is some sort of silkiness to what your skin looks like, right? You need to also practice exfoliating. So exfoliation is the art of using skincare products that help to encourage dead skin cells to wear out naturally, not in terms of not to peel your skin. So there is mild peeling, there is exfoliation that allows for peeling, right? So those are procedures that you do, and most of the time it needs professional support. But when we talk about general exfoliation, there are products that have glycolic acid, that have lactic acid, malic acid. In short, there are other kinds of products that exfoliate. Salicylic acid to some extent exfoliate even once it started for acne. So that's why for exfoliating you need guidance, right? Azelaic acid exfoliates to some extent. What is it called now? Kojic acid exfoliates to some extent. All dimensions of citrics, right? All kinds of citrics, retinols, they exfoliate to some extent. So the thing is, there are so many ingredients that have exfoliating potential, but there are specific ones that are targeted for exfoliating. So whatever your general clean routine is, once or twice a week, let's say 3 days in between, you also want to use an exfoliant in your skincare product, right? Now, and you could introduce exfoliating in different ways. Right? You could actually use a cleansing body wash, right, that has an exfoliant and maybe glycolic based. If it's glycolic based, that means that, well, it's not high. The percentage is standard for skin type. The acidity is not extreme. We can use that as a body wash day and night, but night is usually better if you're using an exfoliating body wash. I use something that is mild during the day, maybe a vitamin C based body wash for daytime, and glycolic acid or malic acid or lactic acid, dependent on how sensitive your skin is for night wash, right? You could decide to put drops of glycolic acid in your body lotion, during the day or at night. Night usually better, especially when it's exfoliating, right? And vitamin C better in the day, because while vitamin C encourages prepping and it reduces the action of tyrosine, it also does what we call it also fights off free radicals, right? So it fights off free radicals, and because it fights off free radicals, vitamin C are healthier for daytime use, while glycolics, azelaic acid, retinols are better off for night use. Now, dependent on guidance and assessment of your sensitivity, retinols are best for aging. That's for control of aging. It's an anti-aging ingredient, right? There are all kinds of retinols, retinoids, retin-A's, and all that. If you're sensitive to it, your professional guide can expose you to diaphorine or other options, that do the same thing, that are also anti-aging focused without you necessarily having to use a retinol or retinoid or retin-A, any of those series. So I think that is about the collective body of knowledge, PTC, and that I would want you to have with regards to what you need to know about in terms of skincare knowledge and with relevance to choosing your skincare products. I know that this may sound a bit complex, or it depends on interest, but it may sound a bit complex. But the truth is, skincare is a science, and you need to get used to it. You need to know it. You need to adapt it. You need to identify the things that work. You need professional guidance, and then when necessary, and then basically build a routine that works. Now, why I split your general from your secondary, and then the third one, when I was mentioning the retinols and hyaluronic acids, the azelaic acid, the salicylic acids, the all other kinds of acids and treatments, it's because those are treatments now targeted to help with certain things, right? Vitamin F is a general vitamin which you can always put into a product. The relevance of it is that they are skin foods, like the pre and probiotics. They are all skin foods that can support you in one way or the other. So these are my it is you now. I don't let it see anymore. What these are my thoughts to you with regard to skincare and some of the things you should process when you're making skincare product decisions. Love you guys, and I will still talk to you again in another video. Take care.